All right. So the goal today is to, I'm going to update all of the scripts I have up on the ScriptKit main site. So I have my own like John Lindquist page, and I'm actually going to start working on doing more community scripts where people can manage their own repos that when they push those repos, those scripts will show up on scriptkit.com. And it's one of those things people have to like run that by me first, and I'll approve them based on, you know, kind of a trust system. But today I need to make sure that all of these are up to date with the latest APIs and everything. So the way I can do that right now is when I launch the app, you can specify, at least you will be able to specify which directory that you want the app to, which Kit environment you want the app to launch from. So I'm going to use the shared kenv. That's the repo I have set up. If you look, I'll pull it up over here, shared kenv. So it's essentially this repo here with these scripts. And I'm just launching that environment from the app. And when I do that, anytime I launch the app, it's going to load in those scripts. Any edit action or any of the actions I take will happen in that kenv rather than the main kenv I have. So the ability to switch between like a shared kenv and the main kenv that I have is going to enable things like having a company Kit environment, a private Kit environment, a shared public Kit environment, and all those sorts of things where you could switch between environments or maybe even merge all of them so that all of your scripts show up from across environments. And it'll also allow from the scriptkit.com site, as you browse scripts or you go to a specific user's page, I need to put links to user pages, that you could bring down their entire environment and like play around with their scripts. So hopefully I can get this all sorted out and shipped, but right now I just need to focus on these scripts. It's mainly the database API that changed, that I need to make sure that that's working. So yeah, these are all the shared scripts, and anytime I go in and use the app to like edit one of these, it'll open in this shared kenv, even though like my main private kenv is this one, and it has a lot of scripts that I don't want public. So I keep my public ones over in this directory. So I'm just going to kind of start from the top, make sure everything's working. I know I kind of peeked at this one earlier. So this one is the anime one, Naruto, and that opens up a little image. It's just a way of demonstrating like popping open an image from a script, which is as simple as just passing an image URL. And these are some options. I think I need to, is that typed for what that second parameter is? No, I'm not going to worry about that right now, but once I get more into the ScriptKit widgets, which are essentially windows you can pop open with whatever UI or whatever images you want, I'll get more into typing this out and making sure that that's working right. So let's go ahead and kind of check off that first one. We'll do app launcher next. Okay, so this one uses the DB, so we need to switch this over to the new database API. So the database it uses is this one. So the first thing we need to do is make that a wait DB, since that's an async call now. And you no longer get and use value. We can just do appsdb.choices. And then setting is just assignment now. So you do choices and await create choices. And then we can write like this, appsdb. We need to await this as well. Write, and then set the choices back to choices. Are there any other DB things in here? I think that's it. So now when I run app launcher, let's see if none of that showed up. Which font is this? That's a good question. I haven't looked at my font in a long time. Font. This is the JetBrains Mono font. So if you check this out over here, yeah, that looks right. So it's a free font from JetBrains. I can drop that in the chat. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I like it a lot. Let's see. It doesn't look like that created the database when it's apps. So it didn't. I wonder if it. Where's that? Create choices, I think it was. So choices starts as an empty array, and then choices, right. Just gonna check these real quick. And let me bring open the log for the app launcher. And let's see. Okay, so let's see. So it looks like it's filling it out. This is correct. And these created choices are correct. It's the reassignment here that doesn't like. I'm actually curious if this automatically reassigns. I'm just not used to the API for the database acts kind of like the proxy assignment does a setter, or the assignment does like a proxy type setter. Do I need to read after that? And then this. I didn't think that I needed to read after it. It's like it's not choices. I wonder if it wants me to concat because it wants me to do an operation on this, is what I'm guessing. Shouldn't. Concats. I might be able to just drop this in here, though. Well, no, because then it would run every time. I only want that to run if the choices aren't set. I wonder if there's a way to put... I guess I could put a function in there so that it only runs if there's no data in there. Because I imagine this is a common occurrence where you want some defaults, but only if they're not set. That's still not writing. That's curious to me. Because I'm pretty sure this would work. And then I wouldn't even have to worry about this, but then it's going to run that every single time I run the script. Is my... Let's do... choices are set, the choices are name and value. But it's like it's failing to write using the API. Let me see something over here. Checking the SDK. In low DB. I guess that's only doing that. I think what I messed up on the logic in this is that this now has some data in it, which means it won't rerun the defaults. Like this would only run if this file didn't exist at all. Yeah, so that worked. That's kind of like the main idea. Like this runs only if this file doesn't exist. So should I make that a function? Because if I make that a function, then I can generate what the defaults are going to be. Where this is in here. And then, so if this is a default function, and this awaits the default function. Then this would only run if the data didn't exist, which means like it tries to read it. And if there's no data on when it reads, then it can write those defaults from a function instead of just an object. And everybody likes creating data from functions. That's just facts. So if I ditch that DB and try the app launcher again. Okay, the data array must be typed. Okay, where did I go wrong there? Okay, so this is a function that wraps create choices. And in Kit, did that create a file? It did not, so it didn't get to this line. It's interesting that that didn't same error. All right, must be string instance or buffer receipt undefined. So the function returned. Oh, yeah, I know why. I know what's going on there. Don't I? No, this looks right. Let's see. This is a function that returns an object with choices on it, and those choices. Just do a sanity check here. It really doesn't like that. Okay, what did I miss here before? So before defaults was an object with choices on it. I refactored it into a function that returns an object with choices on it. But it's telling me that that's undefined. Well. Because these choices are working. That's working, and then this is an object. This is a function that I just pass in. What am I missing here? This one works where it's just an object being passed in. Why was it thinking that's undefined by passing a function? Let's try just making it a function here, and then making that we'll do returns to be clear. Okay, so that's a function which returns an object with choices on it, and you clear out the database, and then rerun this. Data argument must be of type string or instance buffer type array of data view. Received undefined. I mean, it spelled that right. Oh, I don't have the TypeScript compiler running, which could have something to do with the fact that, yeah, everyone can just ignore that I didn't have the TypeScript compiler running and pretend, like, just wipe your memory from the past 20 minutes and pretend that this worked the first try, like I thought it, or at least it should have. So this and this goes here. I think I even had it like this. And then we don't need that. And then that's awaiting it, and that way make sure the database is cleared out. Okay, it is, and one more time for good luck. There we go. Life pro tip: when using TypeScript, run the TypeScript compiler. Otherwise, stuff doesn't work. Yeah, usually I just leave it running here and add an even, I guess I must have restarted my computer or something. I do like this though, if there's no data, invoke a function that can generate the data. I guess I could make let's make that optional. If defaults function type of we'll do, I guess we can just do ternary here. I got a new Moonlander keyboard, so my shortcuts are a little wonky right now. Defaults. And that way, a lot of the scripts I already have, which are just passing in objects, work just fine. But if you want to lazy init database. You can pass in that async function. I like that. Okay, so that function is defined first, and then the DB will use the function and then ask you which one you want to open, and then whichever one you select, which app you select, it'll open with that. I don't think this is an issue anymore. I don't use the node path anymore since I switched over to ESM instead of CJS. And I don't think I need to, I think file search is global now. So let's try, so that runs a lot faster because it's loading from the DB now. So this is kind of the speed, like the very first run takes like that second to find all the apps on your computer. I even have it find like the pref pane stuff, because I like to open like Bluetooth, or like this could find the sound prefs and all that sort of stuff as well. So and this is another thing I'm considering consolidating into like one mega menu where it has like your apps and your scripts and settings and all the common things you'd want to run. That's kind of like a couple weeks in the future of how I want to put that all together. Right now I'm working on the Kenv stuff. So I think that should be good. Let's do updated launcher. Good solid commit message there. And I also need a yeah, this stuff is all good. Let's add in the LowDB stuff. Allowing async functions to populate DB. All right, so let's move on to the next script on the docket. Book search. I'm just going to close the other ones, and I think this one looks fine. We'll do Star Wars, and then this queries the API and then creates a file of all the Star Wars books that it found. So this is a good example of just accepting an arg and passing that to an API. And then this is just writing out the results of the API to a text file. And then we're inspecting, well, it's actually not writing out to a text file. The inspect method will open this string or object, and it does it with this file type that you pass in. So yeah, that one looks like it's working fine. And whenever you use inspect, it actually creates, down here in this temp directory, you'll see there's a book search. So it organizes the temp stuff you do by the script that's run. So there's directories for each script. So you see there's show image and book search and clipboard, which all have temp stuff inside of them. So a nice way of like you can go back through your temp history on the scripts and see what's going on. It's pretty, I like how that works. So let's go back to our scripts and center app. All right, so let's try running this one, making sure it's still working. So we're just updating all the scripts to the latest APIs, making sure everything's set. So that worked. You saw that it kind of, we'll move this down here. We'll run center app, and you see it pops it to the middle with this padding. So you could actually change this amount to 300 center app. You see it kind of shrinks it down. Move this back to 100. And actually run it again. Center app. All right. We don't need the console log. And we actually don't need these anymore. These are global. Get active screen and set active app bounds are both global. So we can clear those out. And this should still, let's move this a tiny bit. And center app. Okay, yeah, that still works. So get active screen is global. They should show up on autocomplete. So it's in there, and you'll see. I'll work on a lot of the documentation will be done through the types. You can see like what's a good example, like trash has a great example that actually pops up on how to use it. Another one is like keystroke has an example that pops up, and this is how I want to do a lot of the documentation, so that you're kind of learning the API as you're going. And if you're not finding something, because it's like when you're typing in the global scope, there's just a lot of global things that might get mixed in with that. You can actually filter down to what's on Kit by using kit dot, and this will show you only the global methods that are on Kit. And you can use it on here, so we do like get active screen or whatever. And then once you use that, you can either keep it on Kit or you can delete it. It's either on Kit or on the global scope, just depending on your how comfortable you are with Kit at that point. But yeah, that Kit helper is a good way to learn the global API. Chrome bookmarks. I imagine this one won't work. Might as well check though. Chrome bookmarks. No, that works. Oh yeah, this doesn't have any of the Chrome specific stuff. So essentially all this one does is goes in the home directory, finds your bookmarks file, which is just a JSON file, parses it, and then reads the children of roots bookmark bar children. So essentially anytime I go into Chrome and I bookmark a page, it shows up in this Chrome bookmarks. And then I can select, let's just do Instacart. And Instacart opens in Chrome. So, and all that is once you select one, so it says select bookmark, and it maps all the bookmarks to names and a description as URL, and the value is the URL. So the URL returns there, and then it opens that URL. And this will open in your default browser. I'm actually going to wrap this in quotes. That's important in case the URL has query params, because like the ampersand would cause it's passing that as a command to bash, and an ampersand in bash means something, and if you were to pass the URL with an ampersand in it, it would cut off the URL at the ampersand. So I think that's that. This is a cool example of using the home helper, read file. This just kind of is what it is. I mean, this makes me think of using lenses or some other approach to dig down into the children, but this is fine. That's totally fine. So I'll leave that. I'm going to start committing these. Remove. We'll just do. I'm not too worried about these. Updated center app and Chrome. worried about those commit messages. Chrome tab advanced. Okay, so this is very similar to Chrome bookmarks. So let's try Chrome tab. So this is going to be named Open Chrome tab. So I need to do Open Chrome tab. Cannot find module, lib Chrome, yeah. So what's going on here is it's trying to load Chrome as a module. This was actually changed to browser, but it's also actually on the global scope. And this defaults to Chrome. And I believe I'll need to get around to trying it out. I think if you pass in other browser names in there, that it would use those. That's something I need to get around to. Just not right now. All right, so let's make sure this is working. Open Chrome tab, and then we'll try Instacart again. You can see it opened over here. And the other cool thing about this is if we just have this open and I go over to Open Chrome tab, it actually has my open tabs in here. So like Twitter's open. If I just do that, it'll switch over to an open Twitter. So that's pretty neat. And I have like multiple windows open. So I'm right here, like Twitter's in a tab on that other Chrome window. And if I do Open Chrome tab, Twitter, it'll focus on that Chrome window and focus on the tab. And I could do the same thing like Open Chrome tab. Scriptkit.com is over here. And there you go. Alrighty, so move these out of the way. I'm going to rename this to Open Chrome tab though. Chrome tab switcher. So I think this is, oh, that's why I named them all Chrome dash, because they all were kind of grouped together. Chrome tab switcher, Chrome tab, Chrome bookmarks. Chrome tab open, sure. So this is the same thing, just with less features. So Chrome tab switcher should show me, so I need to get rid of this. And Chrome tab switcher will show me all my open Chrome tabs. And switch between them just like it did before. So, yeah, we can even bring this down in there, but I like it at the top. That looks good. Chrome tab. This one. So yeah, I need to get rid of that. And then Chrome tab can do twitter.com, and that'll pop open this. So kind of same thing, or at least similar thing. This is more of a, it doesn't know exactly what you want, just that you're going to type in something. So if I type in twitter.com, it'll go switch to that. If I type in google.com, then instead of switching to one, it'll open a new tab for that. So alrighty. Color convert. Let's see if this one's working. So this one requires an npm library. Find package imported. Oh, I wonder if this has one of those. Let's see what the search node modules, color convert, package JSON. Let's see. So do they not have a main? Okay, so they've not defined a main script. When the npm installer runs, because it has to import it after it installs it, and that's not present when Node starts up, I need to find the main script of the package you just installed. I found that not too many people actually label which script is the main script, and so I have to kind of guess. And it should default to index. That is CJS though. Let's try, now that it's installed. Yeah, it still doesn't like it. Blue, red, green. Yeah. This gets into the land of the CJS or CommonJS versus ESM, and that's not been a fun journey for anybody. Package imported from. Alrighty, so let's dig into our npm helper, make sure everything's finding the right path. npm, and there's a find main. Oh, I bet it's main package name. I think it's going to need to be kit path. It'll see module. So there's a package JSON and it reads the module type, but the module's not listed, main's not listed. And because neither one of those are listed, I'll need to return so that's the package JSON and path is node modules package name and path parts. So I think I need to do kpath here. We'll see if that. All right. I thought this would do whoops, hex red. Let's go back over to the color convert. And conversion does RGB CMYK. It's been a while since I've looked at a lot of these scripts, so excuse me if I don't know exactly what's going on in all of them. Convert hex. And create choice. Oh yeah, HTML. I think this needs to be value, because the value being passed in here is what's going in there. Color convert blue. Okay, there we go. So 00255. Green. Purple. And FF 0. Okay, cool. Probably style this better to do something else. Like to tell which one's selected, you know? Because I think when I click on this, it pastes the color. So the idea is you have, I don't need that, that's global. Like you're thinking of, I want to use red right here, pop open, color, whoops. Convert colors, type in red, and then drop in whatever, whichever one you need. That's getting red. Interesting. Oh, my mouse was over. That's one of the fun things about the UI of this, is that very often the mouse will be over the value, and so preventing it from activating on one of them until it moves. You kind of have to like deactivate the entire prompt until something moves, then add the event listeners. It looks like, yeah, the mouse is right there. Okay. So sometimes like the mouse is over it right now, so it will get stuck on that. I need to go through and polish that up. It's one of those like little things that just comes up when doing UI, like global UI stuff. Other than that, I think this looks okay. It's not the prettiest script, but that's not what I'm too worried about right now. This one. I think this would be focus tab. I don't need to run these right now, but I need to make sure. John's personal startup script. And there's going to be dev SS is going to error out saying it cannot find Chrome tab. Yeah, this is what I thought. So yeah, this will be focus tab with localhost 3000. This should work fine. I still have this at .app. I don't want to, I already have this running. Let me try the iTerm helper though. We'll try echo hello. Make sure dev, no, John's personal. Okay, so that opened on the other screen. You can see it echoed hello. And then, did it focus? Let's see. What's going on there? I think I may need to do HTTP. Okay, so that worked. That also worked. But does it open a new one if it doesn't? Sorry, that's happening off screen. But it's not opening a new tab if that doesn't exist. So this tab, oh, we need to go over here and focus tab. It's in the browser lib. If not exists, then reopen. Open location address. I know I have like I handled the URL starts with stuff. I think for now I'm just going to require you pass in the full URL. I'll have to come back to that. A lot of the AppleScript things I want to change over to Rust or Swift or some other option. I do not like AppleScript in the slightest. Okay, so that's good. I mean, I guess this can be this. Let's try that. Okay, yeah, that worked. All right, let's try file search. I need a, that should be global. File search is another one. I'll probably need to find someone who's experienced with this sort of thing. I'm using like the basic, just there's an mdfind helper, but I know that I could create an index and make this go way faster. We'll try egghead. Yeah, it's fine. Actually, let me add the full path to the description. Yeah, it's not info, it's description. That's too many G's. That looks way better with the full path. I can add file previews, but I don't want to right now. That would be a lot of complication to the script. Every time I see this, I consider making an open helper. But I kind of want people to know they can run exec, so I don't. It's one of those choices I just haven't landed on yet. Every time I see it, I think about it, but then I just think we can use exec. Oh yeah, this one's. Let's see. Do we have Chrome tab? This one is a demo of how to run another script. So if I run focus Twitter, that'll switch over to Twitter over here. And it was bound to Option T, so you can quickly pop open with the keyboard shortcut. So like say Twitter's hidden, and you're like, man, I really gotta get some Twitter in, just hit Option T, and it'll switch over to that browser window and over to that tab. And that shortcut is set up here. That's all it's required. It's just a shortcut that says Option T. We'll say runs the Chrome tab script with Twitter passed into the first arg. So if you look at the Chrome tab script, you can see there's an arg that says enter URL. And when you use the run helper here, you can run a script and satisfy arguments of another script. So as you can like compose scripts together that way. All right. Giphy search. Let's make sure this will require getting API key. So okay, so it requires image downloader. That installed. Also requires query string. That's installed. This shouldn't. Oh, do I have an API key in here already? I must. So once you click on one of these, it'll take the link and paste it. Giphy. We'll do awesome, and just click on that. Ask you how you want to format it. We'll do a markdown image link. You can see we could just paste that anywhere. Something that stinks with Chrome is you can't paste a GIF from the clipboard. So unfortunately, you couldn't do it that way. I tried many times to get that to work, but it's just not meant to happen. So that's why you'll see people like in GitHub issues and comments and stuff always use the markdown syntax. Other than that, you have to like drag and drop the file on, and that works too. So if you go to let's try. So if you use the Giphy here and you search for like done, you can actually drag and drop from here. Oh, I thought that would work from there. I have to like name it something. Giphy done. I swear this worked before. Please. That's not focusing on the... I wonder if that's because I'm using a specific... The preview is using the downsized URL or something. Let's try that. Nope. Okay, do this. Huh. Well, that's not the focus for right now, so. Downsized, link formatter, and then you know, it must be prompting. Must be reading in my environment file from my other Kenv. I'll have to look into that off stream. I don't want to dig around with environment variables. Because this does not, this like temporary Kenv I'm in right now does not have a .env file in it, so it shouldn't be picking up on a Giphy API key. Really kind of bummed that drag and drop wasn't working, because I've used it before. I'll dig into that later. But this is global now, so that's not required. The rest of this preview looks good. Do I need to return the input? I do need to return the input, okay. It's always, like, this is based on, ScriptKit is based on the paradigm of text in, text out, like terminal style. So args are usually just text that are going in and usually just returning text. So whenever I return an object, I always have to think, like, do I absolutely need to return an object? But in this case, I do need the input as the, like, the alt text of the URL. So that object can always just be, you know, think of it as JSON, which is still text. So all right, so this looks fine. Let me run it. I'm gonna run it one more time because I removed that one line. Oops. Fine. And we'll do URL. Okay. That worked. Alrighty. Okay, so this is created just from a file in Finder. This is global now. Let's make the default no. Alrighty, so now I have to find file in Finder. That's like a text file somewhere. Just give me 1 second. I'll bring a file over. Okay. So this shouldn't work the first time because it doesn't have a GitHub gist token, unless that's already, again, if it's picking up my environment, then it might have it. So I need to select a file in Finder, and then open gist from Finder. So it should be public. And then that pops open this. Okay, so it did find my token. So that was a combination of this get selected file helper. So any file you have selected in Finder will come in as a string, which is the absolute file path. And the name of the file, I just split and grab the file name. So whatever the last slash is. You know, once I build this for Windows, I'm gonna have to look through the paths again. I guess I can put that using the node path separator, but I'll think about that more once the Windows version comes around. And then this shows just posting to an API. So post uses the URL and the body, and then the config, where the config has the auth headers on it. And if this didn't exist, it would prompt you to go create a token. All right, Google Image Grid. Let's try this one out. Image. This needs to install GIS. And we'll search for candy. And we get, so all of the image results would come up in a Google image search, come in through here. And you should be able to drag and drop these into places. This is one of the things Maggie, who works with us, had done something similar to this in Alfred, where it's more of an idea generator when you're working on designs, what colors, shapes, and sort of stuff should I use for logos or whatever. And I'm working on a basketball project or whatever. So it's just a grid of images. And you can actually like expand this and make it as big as you want. And just browse through tons of images based on that search. All right, that's working just fine. I don't think there's anything I need to change in here. Looks like there's a console log. Let's stray. Yeah, if you return, instead of returning an array of choices, if you return a string from here, that will generate the panel beneath it. I think panel is what I called it. So the panel underneath this, I need to do some like cancel previous requests in the core sometime. The panel underneath it is just HTML you can pass in based on whatever you typed, whatever the results are. So that's how this is being built up, is just by taking the search results, mapping on them, and generating image tags from that. So it's there's really nothing to select once you get to this point. You'd have to type whatever argument you type in. Once you hit enter, that would come out. So like basketball would come out rather than any one of the images. Like it's just a preview of what that argument would do for you if you type that in. All right, let's try Hello World. Actually, I can get rid of this. Hello World. My name is John.
Hello, John.
All right, so that's working fine. really nothing to say there. You could do this, which is kind of a cool demo. But I think I still prefer this. And I don't know why it thinks that name is deprecated. Name void, libdom. Weird. I guess I could. I can disable that, right? There's some way in your TS config to say but I don't provide a TS config in the oh well. I'll have to think about that. If I start adding, I've had a few people request the Kens allow typing in TypeScript. It's one of those things where, like, sure, types would be helpful here. You'd know that name is a string. But these do, these are typed, so you can see that it's going to return like one of these things. Yeah, it's just the big thing for me right now is, like, even if I try and oops, TS check this. Well, this one isn't too bad. Art name. Okay, now it'll complain about top level awaits, and you get rid of that with this. But I haven't figured out. I have set the module option to ESNext system. ESNext. Yeah. But that's in, like, the TypeScript file, not your package.json. Yeah, I don't know why I can't get that error to go away with TS check. All right, image info. Let's try this one out. Chart metadata. Metadata image. I should do the file search. Is that not working? Close the other script. See if there's something in the image info log, but it's not showing up. No, that's just when I installed Sharp. Image metadata, egghead. Like, the file search helper isn't triggering. Maybe I changed the API on that. Interesting. So it didn't like a default being set on that. Why would it not like the default being set on the input? I'll have to look into that sometime. Does that change? What would that? I was trying to think of what that would change in the SDK of a default being set. Like it's like it logs out that very first empty string and then stops doing anything. So I'll need to dig into that sometime. Although there's no reason for input to ever have a default. So we'll leave it like this. Image metadata, we'll pick this one. And you'll see that logged out the width and height of that, which is that. And I'll say check ken logs image info.log. Actually, maybe I'll just edit that. And we'll do logs image info.log. That way, if this is closed and someone runs this, that'll open the log down here. Oh, that's logging out the ASCII codes. I need to parse those out. That ASCII escape thing. All right. Image resize. Actually, I might need to hop off and stop now. It's past 5. All right, I'll come back and tackle the rest of these tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and commit. Updating scripts. Actually, I need to check my shared ken. Webhooks. I'm just looking at my GitHub page for this on my other browser. Because I want it to rebuild the site anytime I update this, so I'll need to add a webhook for when I push these updated scripts in. Which looks like this. So I'll need to grab the Vercel. They have like settings. Sorry, I'm not sure how much of this info is I can show on stream. Just reading through some docs right now. Triggering deploy hook. Provided URL. Deploy hooks will not be triggered if you have GitHub enabled defaults. Let me check. Where is that deploy hook? Deployments, settings, project name, node version, Git production branch, deploy hooks, there it is. Copy and add. Okay, so now on Vercel, assuming that worked out. You can see it's building over here, and fairly soon these should be updated. Let's look for, it's like app launcher, file search should be gone when this is done building. So each time the site builds, it checks out the latest scripts from the different kenvs and uses those to generate these pages. And these are all static. So it makes all the requests to GitHub's API at build time to get these files and to create these little containers. Alrighty, so if I refresh here, this line should be gone on file search. Sweet. That means it got all the latest stuff we fixed. There's the new DB stuff. Although I haven't committed the DB to the app, so I'll have to work on getting that out really quickly. Alrighty, I'm heading out. So everyone have an awesome day, and I'll